Ancient cities are waking from their thousand-year slumber, seen for the first time from space. Modern satellite scans are peeling back the Earth itself, revealing a hidden world of ancient engineering that fundamentally challenges our understanding of history. By the end of this journey, you will know the locations and secrets of 25 lost structures, from a metropolis hidden under the Guatemalan jungle to colossal stone circles in the Sahara. How did a civilization build a perfect geometric city completely invisible from the ground? And what forgotten empire guarded its desert frontier with a chain of lost fortresses? What would you do if you learned everything you knew about the ancient world was incomplete? A single photograph taken by a United States spy satellite in the 1960s changed everything. The mission was one of global surveillance, but the image revealed something far older than any military secret. There, in the Mesopotamian plains, was the faint, geometric ghost of a city. A trading post lost for millennia was suddenly visible from orbit, its foundations etched into the earth like a forgotten drawing. This accidental discovery sparked a revolution, birthing the field of satellite archaeology. This science, also called remote sensing, uses powerful technologies to see what the human eye cannot. LIDAR, which stands for light detection and ranging, fires millions of laser pulses from an aircraft toward the ground. When these pulses hit the soil below a dense jungle canopy, they bounce back, allowing a computer to digitally strip away every single leaf and tree. What remains is a stunningly detailed map of the bare earth, revealing every wall, road, and pyramid hidden for centuries. Another method, multispectral imaging, analyzes light reflected from the ground in wavelengths beyond our vision. It can detect subtle changes in soil chemistry and plant health. Crops growing over a buried stone wall will be stunted, while those over a filled-in ditch might be lusher. From space, these patterns form clear outlines of entire cities sleeping just beneath the surface. This is a profoundly non-invasive way to explore. Researchers can now survey entire mountain ranges or impenetrable swamps from their desks, making monumental discoveries without ever lifting a trowel. This preserves these fragile sites completely intact for future generations, protecting them from both the elements and the risk of damage from premature excavation. It is a fundamental shift, turning every archaeologist into a true global explorer. With these eyes in the sky now open, the hidden wonders are finally ready to tell their stories. That dense Guatemalan canopy hid more than just a city. It concealed an entire civilization's true scale. The LIDAR scans did not just reveal a few extra buildings, they unveiled a complete urban landscape. Beneath the jungle was a network of raised stone highways that connected distant parts of the city, allowing travel even during heavy rains. Sophisticated irrigation canals channeled water with precision, turning the rainforest into a managed, productive environment. And surrounding it all were massive defensive earthworks, suggesting this was not just a ceremonial center but a powerful, fortified capital. At its heart stood a pyramid so immense it dwarfs every other known structure from that era, a central acropolis now known as the Jaguar God City. This was not a scattered settlement, but a meticulously planned metropolis capable of housing tens of thousands of people. Suddenly, our entire understanding of the classic Maya has been upended. We thought we knew their population limits and political structures, but this one city forces a complete rewrite of the history books, proving their engineering and urban planning were as advanced as their famed astronomical knowledge. Yet as the jungle reluctantly gives up one secret, another ancient guardian awaits in a landscape of sand and stone. The Sahara today is a sea of sand, but its silence is an illusion. Modern satellite radar has mapped a phantom landscape beneath the dunes, the ghost of a mighty river system that once brought life to this now barren expanse. Along the banks of these long-vanished waterways, the scans revealed something monumental. A series of colossal stone circles and precisely aligned monoliths stand as a ceremonial complex, a sacred site dating back over 7,000 years. This was a time when the Sahara was not a desert at all, but a green savanna teeming with life. These structures are enormous, some measuring over 50 feet in diameter, and they are arranged in patterns that track the movements of the sun and stars. This reveals an advanced understanding of astronomy held by prehistoric pastoralists, people who followed the rains and left behind these stone sentinels. The entire site points to a previously unknown cultural hub that thrived during what scientists call the African humid period. It was a lost civilization that built its world around the water, a society whose memory was erased by the shifting sands. From the heat of this ancient green Sahara, our journey now takes us to a landscape of a completely different kind, where another civilization carved its legacy into the cold, high plains of the Andes. Far to the south, the dry plateaus of Peru hold more than the famous Nazca lines. Recent satellite surveys have peeled back the surface of this arid landscape, revealing a hidden world of art on a monumental scale. This is an entire network of geoglyphs, vast designs carved into the earth itself. These are not simple lines, but enormous, intricate depictions of animals, complex geometric patterns, and sprawling labyrinth-like structures. Some of these creations are so immense they each cover over a square mile of land. High-resolution imagery from orbit shows that these individual designs are not isolated. They are linked together by incredibly long, straight pathways that cut across the terrain for dozens of miles. Researchers now believe these paths may have served as ancient pilgrimage routes, guiding people on a spiritual journey, or perhaps as a sophisticated astronomical calendar etched into the very ground. Unlike the Nazca geoglyphs, which are best seen from the air, many of these newly discovered figures are positioned on hillsides, making them clearly visible to people standing in the valleys below. Their construction was a Herculean effort, requiring ancient builders to move millions of tons of dark surface stones to expose the lighter-colored soil underneath. This created a stunning visual contrast. This newly mapped network points to a coordinated cultural effort across a vast region, a shared project that hints at a common belief system uniting many communities. From this high desert gallery of giants, our journey of discovery descends into the very cradle of civilization itself. The story of the first cities is being rewritten beneath the wheat fields of Iraq. For generations, we pictured ancient Ur as a dense, walled citadel, a compact island of civilization in a vast rural landscape, but satellite imagery has shattered that image. By analyzing subtle variations in soil moisture and the health of crops, researchers have mapped a metropolis of staggering proportions. The Great Ziggurat and its royal tombs were merely the dense urban core, the downtown of a sprawling suburban network that extended for miles in every direction. The scans reveal an intricate web of canals bringing water from the Euphrates, feeding countless farmsteads, hamlets, and satellite villages, all intricately linked to the city. This was not a simple, crowded fortress. It was a vast, low-density settlement that managed its landscape with incredible sophistication. To support such a dispersed population in the third millennium before the Common Era required a complex hydrological network and a level of social organization we never before attributed to this era. The very definition of a city is transformed, revealing that from its very beginning, urban life involved choices about space, community, and connection that feels strikingly familiar to our own modern suburban experience. This early metropolis was a sprawling hub of hundreds of thousands of people, a scale of communal living that fundamentally rewrites the opening chapters of human civilization. Yet, this pattern of vast, interconnected settlement was not unique to the cradle of civilization. Far to the north, on the great open steppes, another nomadic empire left behind a mark so immense it could only be comprehended from the vantage point of orbit. The Siberian steppe holds a secret written not in stone but in the very soil. Across the vast, remote expanse of the Tuva Republic, satellite radar has mapped a sprawling network of colossal earthworks, a geometric puzzle etched into the grasslands on a scale almost impossible to grasp. These are not the famous Scythian burial mounds we have long associated with these nomadic horsemen. Instead, the imagery reveals immense squares, perfect circles, and long, straight lines that together cover an area larger than the entire city of modern London. The sheer size of these enclosures points to a function as grand corrals, designed to manage the legendary herds of horses that were the very foundation of Scythian wealth and power. Yet the purpose was clearly more than just practical. The breathtaking precision of these forms, visible only from high above the earth, reveals a society capable of organizing labor on a massive scale. This single discovery shatters the old image of nomads as purely transient peoples, painting a new picture of a highly structured culture that commanded and shaped its landscape with intention. Some of these giant designs are precisely aligned with the solstice sunrises, while others appear to map the patterns of constellations in the night sky. This suggests a world where the daily rhythm of animal husbandry was deeply intertwined with celestial worship, a sacred geometry laid upon the earth. The ingenuity of these ancient cultures continues to unfold in the most unexpected places, proving that even the most open landscapes can conceal the grandest of plans. From these vast, windswept plains, our search for the lost and invisible carries us to a different kind of frontier, where an empire carved its will into the dense, mist-shrouded heart of a jungle. Deep within the Cambodian jungle, the mountain of Phnom Kulen held a secret for over 1,000 years. Modern LIDAR scans did not just find a few scattered ruins here, they mapped the complete grid of a vast medieval metropolis. This was Mahendraparvata, a mountain capital of the Khmer Empire that flourished centuries before the iconic Angkor Wat was ever conceived. From above, the scans revealed a city planner's masterwork, a precise geometric layout of temples, reservoirs, and a sprawling network of roads that had been utterly consumed by the dense forest. This was not a haphazard settlement, but a deliberately engineered urban center. Most remarkably, the LIDAR data exposed an intricate web of canals and dams designed to capture and control the region's heavy seasonal rains. This sophisticated hydraulic system is the true revelation, proving that the legendary water management technology that would later sustain the great city of Angkor was actually pioneered in these highlands. The discovery of Mahendraparvata is the missing link in Southeast Asian history, finally showing us that the roots of a mighty empire were not in the lowlands, but in this mountainous, forested heartland. It completely rewrites the origin story of the Khmer, revealing a culture that mastered its environment from the very beginning. From the humid cradle of this jungle empire, our search for lost cities carries us across the world to the sun-drenched islands of the Mediterranean. Beneath the turquoise waters off the northern coast of Crete lies the ghost of a maritime empire. Multispectral satellite imagery has mapped a sprawling harbor complex submerged for millennia, a port facility of staggering scale from the peak of the Minoan civilization. The detailed scans do not show simple ruins, but the clear blueprints of advanced maritime engineering. enormous breakwaters designed to create a calm anchorage against the fierce Mediterranean winds, curved to protect a network of stone quays. The foundations of what were once vast warehouses line the ancient waterfront, suggesting a bustling hub of stored goods. This was a port capable of accommodating hundreds of the sophisticated, colorful vessels depicted in Minoan frescoes. Its scale and design reveal a naval prowess far beyond what historians had previously attributed to this early civilization. This single harbor complex forces a complete reassessment of Bronze Age trade, suggesting the Minoans operated a far more extensive and organized maritime network, a web of commerce that connected the resources of Africa, the technologies of Asia, and the cultures of Europe. This was not a minor coastal town, but a central, pulsating heart of global trade in the second millennium before the Common Era, a testament to an empire built not on conquest, but on the peaceful exchange of goods and ideas across the sea. While the ocean concealed this trading giant, another civilization's greatest achievement was hidden not by water, but by the sheer scale of its own ambition on an open, empty plain. The myth of a pristine, empty Amazon is crumbling. Across the upper reaches of the basin, where deforestation has peeled back the green canopy, satellites have revealed a landscape meticulously sculpted by human hands. Etched into the earth are not random clearings, but hundreds of perfect geometric forms, enormous squares, precise circles, and complex octagons, some spanning over 1,000 feet across, form a vast ceremonial network. These are not the foundations of cities, but something perhaps even more profound. They are immense earthworks, vast enclosures dug deep into the soil, connected by arrow-straight causeways that cut through the jungle for miles. The scale and sheer number of these structures, dating back over 2,000 years, completely upend our previous understanding of this region. This was not a wilderness dotted with small, isolated tribes. It was the home of a large, settled, and socially complex society that possessed a sophisticated understanding of geometry and landscape engineering. They were not merely living in the rainforest, they were actively managing it, shaping their world according to a grand, symbolic design. The discovery forces us to see the Amazon not as a virgin ecosystem, but as a cultivated cultural landscape, a center of ancient innovation where human ambition met the raw power of the jungle. And as our technological window into the past grows sharper, it reveals a structure so unexpected it forges a link between two of the ancient world's greatest cultures. A chain of silent sentinels stands guard over the Central Asian deserts, stretching across the stark landscapes of modern Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan. Satellite imagery has uncovered a forgotten defensive network, a line of fortresses built by the ancient Persian Empire. These were not isolated outposts, but a coordinated system of massive mud brick strongholds, their walls and watchtowers positioned with strategic genius. Each fortress was placed to control a vital resource or passage, standing watch over a precious oasis or a narrow mountain pass that served as a gateway into the empire. This was the frontier guard of the Achaemenid Empire, a highly organized border control system designed to manage the lifeblood of the ancient world, the Silk Road. For centuries, this network secured the flow of luxury goods, technologies, and cultural ideas, all while protecting the empire's volatile northeastern border from the threat of nomadic incursions. The sheer scale of this military infrastructure, now fully visible from space, speaks to the immense resources a superpower was willing to invest to secure its commercial and cultural frontiers. It reveals an empire that understood its strength depended not just on conquest, but on the careful, calculated protection of its connections to the wider world. From this arid, strategic landscape of imperial control, our search for the lost carries us to a place of dramatic natural beauty, where a different kind of mystery lies hidden within the lush greenery of a volcanic island. The silent moai of Easter Island have always told only half the story. While the giant statues gaze eternally seaward, the island's true secret was hidden inland, woven into the earth itself. Modern LIDAR scans have now peeled back the grass and soil to reveal a stunning network of paved roads crisscrossing the entire interior. These were not simple paths for moving statues from the quarry. They formed a comprehensive transportation grid, wide enough for ceremonial processions, that connected the volcanic rock quarries to the coast while also linking vital agricultural zones and scattered ceremonial centers. The scans show these roads were engineered with purpose, following the natural contours of the land to manage the island's limited resources with remarkable efficiency. Along these newly discovered routes, the data reveals previously unknown platforms and small structural foundations, hinting at a complex social and religious life that pulsed across the entire island, far from the famous coastal platforms. This intricate web of connection paints a picture of a highly organized and adaptable society, one that managed its fragile environment with careful planning for generations. This evidence directly challenges the old, simplistic narrative of a people who recklessly destroyed their own world. Instead of a story of inevitable collapse, we see a resilient culture that found ingenious ways to thrive on a remote island. The ability to see this complete, island-wide system from above was the only way to understand its true sophistication, a lesson that applies perfectly to our next discovery, found in the rolling green hills of the British Isles. The rolling green hills of Ireland's Boyne Valley have long whispered of ancient mysteries, with the great tomb of Newgrange as their centerpiece. Yet the true heart of this Neolithic landscape was missing until now. High-resolution satellite radar has mapped a sprawling royal complex lying just inches beneath the modern turf. This was not a tomb, but a vibrant hub of life and power. The scans outline a massive enclosure protected by a formidable wooden palisade, a clear statement of authority in a world of earth and stone. Inside its boundaries stood great ceremonial halls, clusters of storage pits filled with the community's wealth, and a network of smaller dwellings orbiting the central power. This entire complex provides the crucial missing context for the magnificent tombs dotting the valley. It reveals a highly stratified society, one where a powerful central ruler could command the labor and loyalty needed to align massive stones with the winter solstice sun. We are no longer looking at a landscape of isolated monuments, but at the complete picture of a living, breathing political and spiritual capital. This was the place where the people who moved mountains of earth actually lived, planned, and governed. It transforms our understanding of Neolithic Europe from a culture focused solely on death and the afterlife to one that built a sophisticated society deeply connected to the land and the heavens. From this verdant seat of ancient Irish power, our search for lost structures carries us to an entirely different continent, to the vast, sun-scorched deserts of the American Southwest. The deserts of New Mexico hold straight lines that defy the emptiness. For over a century, the monumental great houses of Chaco Canyon stood as lonely mysteries, grand but isolated ruins in a vast landscape. But satellite analysis has shattered that solitude, revealing the true scale of a forgotten civilization. The high-resolution imagery shows that Chaco was not an island. It was the brilliant, beating heart of a sprawling network that extended for hundreds of miles across the Four Corners region. Scattered throughout this immense territory are dozens of newly identified outlier great houses, each a smaller reflection of the canyon's architectural genius, connected to the center by a web of roads so straight they seem to ignore the natural world. These were not meandering trails, they were engineered highways carved directly into the desert floor, cutting through rock and ascending cliff faces with stairways, running perfectly straight for over 30 miles at a time. From the ground, they are nearly invisible, but from orbit, their geometric precision is unmistakable. Each community was meticulously placed according to celestial alignments, their doors and walls oriented to capture the solstice sun or key lunar standstills. This was a single, integrated system, a regional network where outlying communities were economically and ritually tethered to the central power of Chaco. The movement of goods like timber, pottery, and ceremonial items along these sacred roads reveals a society with a surprising level of political and cultural cohesion. This discovery transforms Chaco Canyon from a remote ceremonial site into the capital of North America's first truly organized society, a sophisticated culture that managed to unite a vast and challenging territory under a shared cosmic vision. This pattern of ancient connection, of civilizations bound by invisible lines of trade and belief, is a thread that leads us across the globe to another stunning Asian discovery. Even the most desolate desert was once a place of careful planning and human connection. In the vast, unforgiving expanse of the Taklamakan Desert, satellite imagery has mapped a chain of lost caravanserais, the fortified inns that offered sanctuary along the legendary Silk Road. These were not just buildings, they were vital oases of life strung across one of the most perilous trade routes on Earth. From above, their distinctive blueprints are clear, each one featuring a large central courtyard for unloading precious cargo, surrounded by stables for weary camels and secure living quarters for merchants. Their placement was a masterstroke of logistical genius, positioned at precise intervals corresponding to a single day's travel by caravan. This meticulous spacing reveals a sophisticated support system designed to sustain the immense flow of commerce between East and West. The discovery of this lost chain fills a critical gap in our historical knowledge, showing us the immense infrastructure investment empires made to control and profit from this global network. It was not just goods that moved through these way stations, but the very lifeblood of civilization, ideas and technologies that would shape the world for over 1,000 years. The staggering scale of this ancient trade network is matched only by the monumental scale of ritual found in our next discovery, a structure so immense it was designed to be seen from the heavens. The story of the Carnac stones was always incomplete. While thousands of standing stones march across the French coast, we only ever saw the survivors. Modern aerial surveys have now found the rest, revealing that the original monument stretched for more than 5 miles further inland. This was not a simple row of stones, but a colossal ritual landscape deliberately hidden by time. The newly mapped sections include thousands of additional megaliths that were deliberately toppled and buried under soil, preserving them for millennia. When digitally resurrected, these fallen stones complete a pattern of breathtaking complexity. The full alignment now appears to function as a gigantic astronomical observatory, with specific stones and newly discovered circular enclosures marking key lunar standstills and solar events across the vast terrain. Integrated within this grand design, researchers have also identified a series of burial mounds, suggesting the site served a dual purpose, intertwining the tracking of cosmic cycles with ceremonies of remembrance for the community's ancestors. This expanded view transforms Carnac from a local curiosity into one of the largest and most sophisticated megalithic complexes on Earth, a project that evolved over many generations. It reveals a society with a deep, enduring connection to the sky and the land, capable of organizing a building project that spanned centuries. From this monumental European landscape, our search for the lost leads to a discovery of similar scale in the very heart of the African continent. The deserts of Sudan hold the bones of a forgotten empire, while the pyramids of Meroe stand as silent monuments. The true strength of the kingdom of Kush was written in the sand of the Bayuda Desert. Satellite radar has now traced its southern frontier, a defensive line of stone and mud brick fortresses stretching across the barren expanse. These were not isolated outposts, but a coordinated military network of fortified garrisons and watchtowers, each one strategically placed to command a vital oasis or a narrow pass through the mountains. Their singular purpose was to control access to the source of Kush's legendary wealth, the gold mines and trade routes that fueled its rivalry with ancient Egypt. This was a border meticulously engineered by a state with immense authority, a kingdom capable of projecting its power hundreds of miles into the most inhospitable terrain to protect its economic lifeblood. The discovery provides undeniable proof of the sophisticated statecraft practiced by the Kushite pharaohs, rulers who administered a vast empire with the same calculated precision as their northern neighbors. It shows a world where borders were drawn not by chance, but by the relentless pursuit of precious resources, a driving force of ancient geopolitics that echoes powerfully into the modern age. This same relentless pursuit of resources, the need to secure a lifeline in a harsh world, guided our next discovery to a land of ice and fire. The rugged Scandinavian landscape was a cradle of lore, not just legend. Across the fjords and plains of Norway and Sweden, satellite-based topographic analysis has peeled back the modern ground cover to identify dozens of previously unknown Viking assembly sites. These were the open-air parliamentary grounds where free men gathered to deliberate. The subtle signatures of these sites are unmistakable from above, carefully leveled terraces carved into hillsides, often positioned near a distinctive rune stone or a singular, ancient tree that served as a natural landmark. These were not random meeting places, but formal, designated venues connected by a web of ancient roads now visible as faint linear traces in the satellite data. Mapping this complete network reveals the true extent of a shared legal and political culture that stretched across the entire Viking world. At these assemblies, communities would settle property disputes, negotiate trade agreements, and even decide on weighty matters of war and peace. This system of decentralized governance, where local decisions were made collectively, profoundly influenced the development of later European democracies. The discovery fundamentally recasts our image of the Vikings, transforming them from archetypal raiders into founders of sophisticated political institutions built on discourse and collective will. From the democratic fjords of the north, our search for lost structures carries us to the soaring peaks of the Andes, where a different kind of ancient ambition touches the sky. The high plains of Bolivia hold the secret to an empire's longevity. Surrounding the monumental stonework of Tiwanaku, satellite imagery has now mapped a radiating halo of smaller, planned settlements. These were not random villages, but integral components of a highly organized state. Each settlement was laid out in a precise grid pattern, a miniature echo of the capital's own urban design, and they were all connected to the heart of the empire by a complex network of canals visible from space. This hydraulic web was the lifeblood of the civilization, facilitating the constant movement of goods and people across the challenging Altiplano landscape. But what were these settlements producing? They were specialized agricultural centers, mastering a brilliant technology known as raised field farming. In this harsh, high-altitude environment, they constructed vast grids of elevated planting beds surrounded by water-filled canals. This ingenious system protected crops from frost, recycled nutrients, and produced a staggering agricultural surplus. It was this surplus, flowing relentlessly through the canals and into the capital, that supported the urban elite, the artisans, and the massive construction projects that made Tiwanaku famous. The entire system reveals a pre-Incan territorial state that managed its resources and its territory with an efficiency that rivals modern planning. This was not just a ceremonial center, it was the administrative heart of a true empire, proving that ancient states could achieve remarkable complexity even in the world's most demanding environments. The ability to organize territory and resources so effectively was a hallmark of great ancient powers, a principle perfectly demonstrated by another stunning discovery far across the globe. The silence of the Jordanian desert is a testament to an ancient victory over the elements. Far beyond the famous rock-cut facades of Petra, satellite surveys have mapped a hidden metropolis of water, an engineering marvel carved not for glory but for survival. This was the Nabataeans' true masterpiece, a hydraulic network so vast and precise it transformed a barren landscape into a blooming oasis. The scans reveal a sprawling system of diversion dams built to catch the violent flash floods that occasionally tear through the wadis. From these dams, a web of narrow, meticulously carved channels and terracotta pipelines stretches for dozens of miles, contouring the hillsides to guide every precious drop of seasonal rain toward the city. Vast underground cisterns, hewn from solid rock and plaster to prevent leakage, served as massive storage tanks, holding enough water to sustain a population of 30,000 through years of drought. This was not mere adaptation, it was a complete subversion of the desert's nature. By mastering the scarce resource of water, the Nabataeans secured their position as the unrivaled masters of the incense trade. Caravans laden with frankincense and myrrh would travel for weeks across the barren Arabian Peninsula, knowing that Petra offered not just a market, but guaranteed water and security. Their true genius lay not in the monuments they left for tourists, but in the invisible, life-giving infrastructure they built beneath the sand. This profound understanding that control over water meant control over destiny is a theme that echoes across the ancient world, finding a powerful parallel in a land of sun and stone on the opposite side of the Mediterranean. The great cities of Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa were never the solitary islands we once imagined. Orbiting satellites have now sketched the full picture of their world, revealing a sprawling rural hinterland that sustained these urban centers for centuries. Across the vast Indus River plain, the imagery uncovers a landscape meticulously engineered for survival and growth. A complex lattice of ancient irrigation canals, long since filled with silt, once channeled life, giving water to countless fields. Scattered between these waterways are the faint geometric outlines of smaller, satellite villages and numerous trade outposts, all linked by a web of unpaved roads. This was not a simple arrangement of a dominant city ruling over passive farmland. Instead, it points to a highly integrated economic system, a civilization built on a foundation of shared technology and mutual support. The entire region functioned as a single, cohesive unit, with each village and town playing a specialized role in a larger, decentralized network. This discovery fundamentally reshapes our understanding of one of the world's first civilizations. The Indus Valley people appear to have built a society without the need for towering palaces or grandiose temples to a single king. Their authority was spread across the landscape, vested in a shared culture of urban planning, standardized weights and measures, and a common script that remains undeciphered. They were a complex league of city-states, bound not by a central crown, but by a collective genius for organization and trade. This model of a distributed, interconnected society challenges the very template of early civilization, proving that monumental power could be woven into the fabric of the land itself. From the river-fed plains of this ancient collective, our search moves across the ocean to the scattered islands of the Pacific. rising from the mangrove swamps of a remote Pacific island, is a city built not on land but by sheer human will. On Pohnpei, LIDAR technology has finally captured the complete blueprint of Nan Madol, a staggering complex of nearly 100 artificial islands constructed atop a coral reef. This was not a simple village but a true canal city, a labyrinth of waterways that functioned as streets, allowing ceremonial canoes to travel between islands, each one designed for a unique and vital role. One islet served as a royal residence, its towering walls made of colossal basalt logs, while another was dedicated entirely to food preparation. The scale of the engineering required to build this aquatic capital defies belief. The Saudeleur dynasty that ruled here commanded the labor to quarry and transport these immense stone logs, some weighing many tons, across the water, and then assemble them into a city that appears to float on the sea. This discovery solidifies Nan Madol not just as an archaeological wonder, but as one of the ancient world's most ambitious statements of power, a testament to a civilization that literally moved mountains to create its own sacred space. The ingenuity required to thrive on a remote island is a theme that echoes across the Pacific, and it finds a powerful parallel in the challenges faced by another culture, one whose greatest achievement was hidden beneath the shifting sands of a vast desert. The Great Mound of Cahokia was never alone. For generations, we saw it as a solitary earthen pyramid rising from the Illinois plains, a magnificent but isolated ceremonial center. Modern satellite photography has completely rewritten that story, revealing a sprawling urban landscape that extended for miles along the Mississippi River. The city was surrounded by extensive suburban sprawl, a network of smaller mound centers, bustling residential districts, and vast, organized agricultural fields. This was not just a seasonal gathering place, it was a genuine metropolis, one of the largest cities in the world during the 11th century. At its peak, its population may have rivaled that of contemporary London. The sheer density of this settlement reveals a level of urban planning and social organization in pre-Columbian North America that we never fully appreciated. This was a city with neighborhoods, outlying towns, and a complex economy all orbiting the central power of the Great Mound. The discovery forces a dramatic reassessment of the Mississippian culture, proving they wielded political power and social complexity on a scale that truly rivals the great contemporary settlements of Europe. The recurring surprise of these vast ancient American cities continues to unfold, guiding our search southward to another civilization whose true scale was hidden beneath the Mexican soil. The Grand Pyramids of Teotihuacan were just the beginning of its story. While the Avenue of the Dead provided a ceremonial spine for the city, the true nature of its society was hidden in the urban fabric surrounding it. Modern satellite-based geophysical surveys have now mapped the city's complete internal structure, revealing a meticulously organized patchwork of distinct ethnic neighborhoods or barrios. Each enclave possessed its own architectural signature, from the layout of its residential compounds to the specific types of craft production that took place there. From orbit, researchers detected the subtle chemical traces of these ancient industries, the accumulated waste from generations of artisans working obsidian into razor-sharp tools or firing pottery in distinctive local styles. These were not just random quarters, they were vibrant communities for people who had journeyed from Oaxaca, the Maya region, and the Gulf Coast, each group bringing its own traditions into the heart of the metropolis. This transforms our understanding of Teotihuacan from a monolithic imperial capital into a truly multi-ethnic cosmopolis, a deliberate melting pot. The city's astonishing stability and power for centuries appears to have been built on a foundation of economic and ideological integration, not on the domination of one group over others. Different cultures lived, worked, and traded side by side, all participating in a shared urban project governed by a strong central authority. This interconnected nature of the ancient world, where diverse cultures were woven into a single social fabric, finds another powerful example far to the east, in a land where imperial ambition carved its mark into the very mountains themselves. The Romans understood that a border was not just a wall, but a nervous system. Across the sun-baked deserts of North Africa, modern satellite imagery has mapped the ghost of this imperial intelligence network. Hundreds of small, isolated watchtowers and compact fortlets have been pinpointed, stretching deep into what was once the empire's southern frontier in modern Libya and Algeria. These were not parts of a continuous barrier like Hadrian's Wall in Britain. Instead, they formed a deep surveillance grid, a system of early warning and control. Each small garrison, perched on a rocky outcrop, had a clear line of sight to the next outpost. When movement was detected on the horizon, a signal fire would be lit, passing the message from tower to tower at the speed of light, racing back to the heavily garrisoned legionary forts dozens of miles behind the lines. This system allowed a surprisingly small military force to project its presence and monitor every caravan and nomadic group across a territory of staggering size. The discovery reveals a Roman approach to border security that relied as much on information and communication as it did on sheer military strength. It was a sophisticated, adaptable strategy for managing a vast and open frontier, proving that the empire's greatest weapon was often its brilliant, organized mind. This mastery of logistics and control finds a powerful echo in the final hidden structure, a place where ancient ambition reached for the stars themselves. The ambition to carve a mountain into a monument finds one of its most dramatic expressions in the highlands of Ethiopia. Satellite analysis has pinpointed the very source of Aksum's grandeur, the primary quarry for its legendary giant obelisks. But the true marvel lies not just in the place of origin, but in the path of delivery. The imagery reveals a meticulously prepared transport route, a wide, leveled causeway engineered to move these multi-hundred-ton stone needles over a distance of several miles from the quarry to the royal city. This was no simple dirt track. It was a purpose-built highway for monoliths, a testament to logistical planning on an epic scale. Within the quarry itself, the scans are even more revealing. Dozens of partially carved stelae remain locked in the granite, frozen in various stages of production. They stand as an open-air museum of ancient engineering, showing the precise sequence of carving, from the initial rough shaping to the final intricate details that mimic multi-story buildings. This allows researchers to reverse engineer the tools and techniques used by Aksumite stoneworkers, revealing a sophisticated understanding of stone fracture and leverage. The entire site sheds brilliant light on the incredible organizational power of the Aksumite kingdom. To feed the workforce, manage the engineers, and coordinate the slow, deliberate movement of these colossal symbols of power required a centralized state with immense authority and resources. This was not the project of a local chieftain, but of a major empire operating on a global stage, a peer to Rome and Persia that dominated trade routes across the ancient world. The quarry and its highway stand as a silent tribute to a civilization that believed its rulers could command the very earth to rise. This relentless drive to reshape the world according to a grand vision brings us to our 25th and final hidden structure, a discovery that proves some of the most profound ancient secrets were not built on land at all, but carefully placed beneath it. The final walls of Karakoto rise from the go-by like a broken crown, a known ruin holding an unknown world within. Recent satellite radar has now stripped away the centuries of sand, revealing the city's complete anatomy laid bare. The scans show a meticulously planned urban grid, a network of straight streets dividing the interior into precise blocks. We can now identify the foundations of grand temples with their distinctive layouts, the larger footprints of administrative centers, and the dense clusters of common residences. This was not a haphazard fortress, but a thriving, organized capital of the Tangut civilization, a society with its own unique language and culture. The imagery, however, also confirms a darker chapter from the historical record. The scans clearly show a single, catastrophic breach in the formidable outer walls, a point of final assault. More tellingly, they trace the ghost of an ancient river channel deliberately diverted away from the city, a tactical move that would have severed its lifeblood. This final discovery offers a heartbreakingly complete snapshot, a medieval metropolis frozen at the very moment of its fall, its bustling streets silenced by siege and thirst. From the silent, sand-choked grid of Karakoto to the jungle-shrouded metropolis of the Maya, these 25 wonders share a single, transformative truth. We are no longer simply digging up the past, we are illuminating it from above, revealing a hidden layer of human history written across the entire planet. This is not just about finding lost cities, it is about rediscovering the scale of ancient ambition, the sophistication of forgotten engineering, and the interconnected stories of cultures we are only now beginning to understand. The Earth itself has been their archive, and we have finally learned how to read it. This digital revolution in archaeology is accelerating faster than we can imagine. The satellites orbiting our planet today are not just looking down, they are seeing through, with resolution so sharp they can distinguish individual bricks and sensing capabilities that detect the faintest chemical whispers of past human activity. Soon, we will move beyond finding single cities to mapping entire interconnected civilizations, revealing lost empires as complete geographic entities on a map. The true game changer is already being trained in laboratories around the world, artificial intelligence. These machine learning systems are being fed millions of square miles of satellite data, learning to recognize the subtle signature of a buried wall, the geometric ghost of a foundation, or the specific plant stress that signals a field-in canal. These are patterns a human analyst, no matter how skilled, could easily overlook in such a vast sea of information. This technology promises to democratize discovery itself. A researcher in a small university, equipped with little more than a laptop and an internet connection, will be able to survey their entire nation for cultural heritage, uncovering chapters of their own history that were once thought lost forever. Yet with this incredible power comes a profound and urgent responsibility. The same detailed maps that reveal these sites to archaeologists can also guide looters to pristine, unexcavated treasures. The relentless spread of urban development and agriculture continues to consume the very land that holds these fragile memories. Our new eyes in the sky must therefore become guardians. Satellite monitoring can provide a constant global watch, detecting the first signs of illegal digging or encroaching construction, allowing for swift intervention to protect our shared human legacy. We are living in the moment when the final map of the ancient world is being drawn. The promise is a planet with few buried secrets, a future where we finally understand the full, magnificent scope of the human journey. This is not just about technology, it is about stewardship, a race to understand our past before it is erased from the earth forever.